all we say is what they can't do your watches, they can't do your necklaces. No, that's all done. Okay. With the underwire bra, can you do so the underwire bra, we can't sorry, we need to just cut the underwire bra, so cut in the middle, peel it out to the side. You don't need to get the straps off. Yeah? You don't need to take it off. Okay. So, look, it needs to go from here, to here, okay? And the wire is on the way. So just peel out of it in the story. If they've got a necklace, yes, we can just need it so we just need to put on the necklace. So if that's a necklace that can go there, just put it on closer to the neck. You take it off if you want, yeah? But remember that the jewellery stays with the patient, rather than you take it off even on the side of the road, and then, you know, they might go to the road, where's the housing your necklace, whatever, yeah? So 50 cent necklace, so kind of the 7 keys, that's all you need on now. The most important is just get it on, okay? If the chest is weight, you just need to drive the chest in the story. But if they've got piercings, or little piercings or a big thing, yeah, don't worry about it, just put the pads on. Yes, if they've got something like a piece of chain going between the two nipples, well then you have a problem. You need to stay strong. Okay? Ready? Alright? Are you okay, aren't you? No, if it's a single little piercing, no issue. Yeah? It's if there's something interlinking, yeah? No, the chances are right, okay, so, happy with our AEDs, yeah? Yeah, excellent, right, okay, so, this is a small child, like we have here on the worktop, right? Okay, what are we going to do now? Okay? Okay, so a small child, we might do something slightly different from the point of view of, it's exactly the same as an adult, okay? We're going to do the compressions, okay? The only thing that we might do is, we might actually only just use one hand, okay? Because it's a small child, we don't need all this force, okay? For us big burly men, right? Okay? So we say, you know, you might have to use 2 hands. You have to look at the patient. Equally, this could be an 80-year-old, a 90-year-old patient, okay? And again, you might only need 1 hand. They're a frail patient, okay? As we say, don't be afraid if you break a rib, you break a rib. You can live with a broken rib, don't worry about it. What else do I need to tell you? So, that's our child. So, it's again, just compressions. With our child, again, depending on the physical size, but where size comes big, our important is the baby. Okay, is my baby. Okay, so the only difference. Congratulations. There's 2, yeah. So, very fine. Very junior. Caitriona was talking about the old C-sections and doing all these things. This is our next course. No. So, with an infant, okay, the only difference with an infant, okay, is when we're doing compressions, we're actually using our fingers, okay? So, we're not actually going to be doing it here today. I only want you to know the difference between adults, children, and infants. When it comes to putting in pads on this, a pad goes on the front, so pad number 1 goes on the front, pad number 2 goes on the back, because there's not physically enough body, the pads will be touching each other, so we need a shot to actually go through that person. Again, we need to be doing compressions on a hard surface, so I really can't be doing compressions here on my hand. I need to go to a table. It's difficult to do it on the ground. If the ground is all you have, do it on the ground. Much easier to be standing at a table doing the compressions. When it comes to the compressions, so with the infant, you can see the mannequin here now, the bib is dirty, but that's roughly where the nipples are on the mannequin. You'll actually feel them on this mannequin. When we do our compressions, okay, it's just below the nipple line. So normally I would bring my finger across their nipple line, and then I would place those 2 fingers just below the nipple line. Okay? And like our compressions with our adult, we're right over it, and they're straight down compressions is what we're doing. And we just do this below chest. So it's literally just below the nipple line here. So if this is the nipple line here, we're literally, so if I come across with this finger, I'll be placing my 2 fingers here. Now, you'll have to figure out which 2 fingers for ye are the ones that are kind of closest from the point of view lengthwise. Yeah? And that's all we do. The other thing that we could do is, again, just below the nipple line, okay? Again, if this is on a hard surface, we can do what we call the 2 thumbs, okay? So, we're on the hard surface, but my 2 hands are kind of behind the baby's back here. I find the nipple into the baby down a tiny bit, okay? And I give them compressions that way. But depending on the size of the child, I might be able to get my fingers along. Okay? And that's all we're going to do with infants. The chances of an infant, okay, are very, 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 very slim. Okay? Unless primarily there's some other medical issue. You really shouldn't have to be doing anything with an infant.
What about oversized children, which is not unusual anymore?
Well, in 2 hands or 1 hand, you'll have to just look.
Right, yeah, so it's the same principle.
It's exactly the same principle. We're using our hands, we're using one hand, 2 hands, or fingers.
Okay.
Okay? I'm going to choking. So, is that what we're going to talk about?
Get your hand off his neck. Get your hand off his pocket.
You can cut off his clothes if his jumper gets caught in his neck.
Take off his clothes.
When it comes to choking, yeah, we're all very guilty of when we start to choke. We're kind of embarrassed that we're actually choking at something that's not on the wrong way. A lot of the time what happens is we tend to get up and discreetly remove ourselves from the table and head towards the bathroom or the toilet. If we're in a restaurant, we don't want to be in the middle of the restaurant, but whatever, blah, 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 right? Okay, so when it comes to the choking, we need to establish is the person choking, because they may or may not be choking, what we call it. So, if a person is breathing, are they choking? No. So they're moving air, so they're not choking. Okay, if they can cough, we'll encourage them to cough. Okay? I know it's COVID and all that kind of stuff, so you know, we might stand pen to one side, but keep confident. I know COVID's gone, yeah, 28 February, should have been So, if a person can cough, yeah, we encourage them, keep coughing there, Fred, keep coughing, keep coughing, keep coughing. Okay, so we need to establish, you know, is he choking? So, Fred, are you choking? So, if he's silent and not moving air, and now starting to go a little bit purple, yeah, we're kind of thinking we've got an issue here, how are we going to rectify this? We need to tell him that we're here to help him, okay? We're not just going to physically abuse him here without getting his permission, okay? So, Freddie, are you choking? And this is the universal sign for choking. Most people tend to hold their hands up or whatever. So, Freddie, I can help you, okay? So, I will yeah? So, what I'm going to do is say to Freddie, just kind of have a little bit of a wide stance, okay? And I want to bend Freddie forward. Oh. Okay?
Don't take off, Freddie. Take off his clothes. Don't take off his clothes.
Okay, so I'm going to have a wide stance myself, okay? Because I need to be able to support myself if Freddie was unconscious or unresponsive. I'm going to put one hand across the front of his chest here, and again, I'm going to just lean him forward. Now, I'm going to inflict what we call a back blow, and I'm going to do this up to 5 times. Okay? If an object pops out in 3, we're not going to keep going to 5 unless we're totally sick in the head. Yeah? Okay? So, I'm going to give him a thump into the back, and it's a thump that hits the back and kind of glances forward at the same time. Okay? And it has to be quite forceful. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the time I'm looking to see has something come out. No point in going past 5, really, because is it working?
Nothing came
Nothing
out.
came out. Yeah? Nothing came out. So, that's really
Got a
not.
mask?
Okay, so I need to a different plan here, guys, okay? So this time around, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand Fred up. up, right? Okay? So, I don't physically need to turn Fred, but I'm going to turn him for the purpose of demonstration. Okay? Again, I just need to make sure that Fred, within reason, has a nice wide stance that he can support himself. Because don't forget, he's not moving any air. If we don't move air for a period of time, what's going to happen? We're going to collapse onto the ground. Okay? So he's going to hurt himself, and I'm going to hurt myself trying to save him. So at least if he has a wide stance, and he starts to go, I can actually help him back to the ground, nice and gently or whatever. But in the meantime, he's still standing. We need to get rid of this choking. Okay? So we're going to slightly bend him forward, because gravity might help us a little bit. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to find his little belly button. Okay, so see that? It's white. So that's his little belly button. Okay? So ideally you will find his belly button. So, now, found his belly button and I'm going to make a fist. And I'm going to come in just above his belly button. Okay? I'm going to make that fist just above his belly button. And the movement again is in and up. Okay? And that's going to be again quite a forceful manoeuvre. Now, what's really important is that I get something solid up against his behind, basically. Because if I'm here and I'm doing this, all I'm doing is pulling him towards myself. Whereas if I turn nearly 90 degrees to him, get my hip up against him, okay, he's not really going to move a whole lot. So I locate his belly button, in I come, make my fist, okay?
Congratulations, baby boy. It's a baby boy. It's a baby boy. We know why.
I thought that was your whiskey reserve.
That's what I'm after.
What happens if he's 2 or 3 feet tall, yeah? I mean, and he's twice your size.
Yeah, so what can we do then? We can still come in from behind.
I'm down on the floor and dance on his drum.
You could try So, if Freddie is obese or Freddie is a pregnant lady, we're not going to be able to do that kind of a move. But what we can do is we can actually come in here. Okay, it won't work with this training thing here now, but we can come in here just up on his chest, like our chest compression. But again, we're going to just cup our hands here, and we're actually going to just do up to 5. So this again here is 1, 2, 3, 4. Nothing came out. Right, so that's not working, that maneuver. Right, I'm just going to lean it forward again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back up again, in behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to repeat that process until such time that the object is clear or Freddie falls to the ground. If Freddie falls to the ground, what happens then? Call an ambulance.
He's on the ground.
There we go. Everything you did this morning.
Everything you did this morning kicks in. We're calling for help, get an ambulance, get an AED, and we're going to start compressions. And every so often we're going to be looking into that mouth to see if we see something. If we see something, yes, we can open them up or we can take it out, extract it. Okay? If we don't see something, we're not going to go in blind and have a good poke down his throat to try and figure out can we actually find whatever object is inside her. Okay? He won't bite. Well, he could. Absolutely. Yeah. So just, you need to be careful sticking your fingers into someone's
What happens if someone's high on drugs
Yes.
and you need to do this and you're not sure how the reaction will be?
That's the risk you take.
That's a risk.
Okay.
That's a risk you take, absolutely. You know,
Okay.
in the sense that, again, you might go to someone unresponsive on the ground. They've taken an opiate in some shape or fashion. Their ventilation rate has gone way down. They're unresponsive. You start doing CPR and stuff like that, and they could come around and they could start lashing out on you.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, yeah. Equally, you know, look, there's medications out there that will reverse opiates and stuff like that, and sometimes they can turn nasty because, unfortunately,
They're promoted, they're both.
Absolutely. But
Exactly,
Like,
yeah.
buzz costs, we'll say €20 or €50,
Yeah.
and you know they're just after getting their buzz, and you go in and you give them a medication, and yeah, they're not going to be happy campers.
No, I understand
Okay.
that. Okay.
As I say, with our person here, up to 5 times, okay, up to 5 times. Keep alternating until such time as they are unresponsive, and then we lie them down the ground. Okay. Equally, we come across, so I'll just make a little bit of space. Equally, we come across a patient that's outside. Now, this is our patient that is after loads of alcohol. Okay, and they're only sleeping it off. Can we do anything for that type of a person?
Turn them to a side, isn't it?
Yeah, what we call the recovery position. So very important, yeah. So we have family, friends, we've all been out with the beer, we've all come home a little bit too drunk and we're being put into bed by someone, into bed there or whatever. If we can put them into that recovery position, okay, the chance of them aspirating and getting sick, they will aspirate or possibly aspirate, but they won't actually hopefully choke on their own vomit or whatever. Yeah, so to put someone into that recovery position, I'll actually do my back teeth if you don't mind. So that you
Don't go the other way?
No, you're fine. Okay, so we come down alongside the patient. Again, we need to be kind of politically correct. We use the backs of our hands, okay, and we're just going to tell the patient what we're doing. So Freddie, I'm just checking your pockets for sharp objects. No, there's €50 there, yeah, not bother. Thanks very much. Yeah. So, no, we're looking for sharp objects. If Freddie's wearing a pair of glasses, yeah, we'll just take off the glasses and we'll put them on the ground there alongside him or whatever. Okay, so, we take the hand that's nearest us, okay, and we kind of just come out 90 degrees and back up like so. We take the leg that's furthest away from us, and we lift it up, and we can actually kind of nearly tuck it in under the other one if we want. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take Freddie's hand, okay, I'm going to put the back side of the palm of his hand here, to the side of his face, but it's much easier if we kind of hold his hand like so. We put it up against the side of his face. Now, it doesn't matter how big Freddie is in relation to size-wise, we have what we call the law of the lever, the ferocious leverage here. So I'm not trying to roll him from down here. If I just come up here, I can actually use the tips of my fingers, I can roll him over, I can tuck his hands back in here, I take this leg down, okay? So we have kind of like a straight leg, with a 90-degree leg. We have our hands tucked in here, we tilt his head back, and we're going to get down, and we're going to have a listen. And again, we're listening to see, is he breathing? Okay? Now, so Freddie technically can't roll forward, and he can't roll backwards. And if Freddie decides to vomit, okay, gravity should take care of it, and it should flow. So if you're ever putting anyone on the street outside that looks inebriated or whatever, and you want to do anything for that person, put them into that position and they can sleep off.
There's another one as well where you put, say Freddie's left hand, you put it behind the back like that, and the other one goes across and you can't go back.
Right, okay, yeah. Well, I suppose this is the way the pre-hospital emergency care would teach it, and the American Heart Association and stuff like that. There's probably numerous ways out there. This is the way they kind of recommend. But yeah, the most important thing really is that whatever position you put him into, that he can't actually roll over. That he kind of stays in that position. No, he might want to throw over it naturally himself, but as I said, if your buddy, you come home some night and he's out of it and you're throwing him into a bed or whatever, or you're sleeping on the couch, just get him into that position. Yeah. Equally, the other thing that you just need to be careful of in your compressions, more so if you're going to give what we call ventilation. So we were saying about ventilation to a family member. We can give a ventilation where we're opening the airway, we're giving a little bit of a breath. Again, it's now with COVID, it's not really recommended to be given ventilations. But if you're down the back of the Beara Peninsula and the ambulance is 45 minutes away, it might be no harm to give 1 or 2 breaths every so often. But as we're doing those compressions, air is naturally being drawn into the body anyway, so there is oxygen going in and oxygenated blood moving around once we're doing the compressions. The big key really there is compressions. Any questions?
Is he extreme Bill?
He's in cardiac arrest.
He's really white.
If